I'm Alan Ginsborg, and I'm the Managing Director and Principal for Newmark Merrill Mountain Estates, and we're here at the Twin Peaks Mall for our second community meeting. It's really a great gathering, and it's really exciting to see what people are thinking. We've provided food from 6 different local food merchants here in town. There's a great assortment of people here, and we really got a great cross-section of the community here too to participate in this discussion. Well, thank you all for coming this evening. I really appreciate you taking time out of your lives to come hear about the future of Twin Peaks here. Really excited to talk about what's next for the Twin Peaks Mall that we're sitting in. And my plan tonight is basically to discuss what we've learned over the past few months of listening to the input we've received from all of you, and also sharing with you what we've learned from meeting and talking with retailers who are a pretty important party in this whole process at the table, and then share some initial ideas on how we see everything coming together in this discussion. Yeah. You know, we've been through probably over 100 retailers now that we've contacted, so I think between your input and theirs, we're starting to see some intersections. I just want to give you a very quick summary on our company, Newmark Merrill, and why I think we're a good partner for Longmont. This is my 30th year in the retail shopping center business. It's what our company specializes in. My partner Sandy has been in the business alongside of me for that time as well. And we've got a dedicated team of about 100 people that are focused solely on operating, developing, reformatting, redeveloping shopping centers. Currently, we've got a portfolio of about 75 shopping centers that we own or operate. And they've been successful. We've never had to go back to a bank, return a property, had a foreclosure, zip, which is one of the reasons in this really extremely difficult financial market we were able to still move forward and purchase this property, as we have very good relationships that way. We've worked with cities all around the West in California as well as Illinois. My partners Sandy and Brad have been involved with entitlement and review and redevelopment in all those communities. So this is not a new process to us. So we have references from various cities. We just recently redeveloped a project in Melrose Park, which is in Illinois. And the city there, we've had a good relationship with them. Just a quote, they said, "Your continued cooperation with the village of Melrose Park is valued. To add to your challenges, you and your staff have successfully continued to persevere during tough economic times." And that means during this last cycle here, over the last 3 years, we redeveloped a center that's a little bit smaller, but not much smaller than this one. During that economic cycle, re-tenanted it, took it from about 65–70% occupancy on up to 95 to 96% occupancy. And invested $10 million in a renovation of that property. So Sandy and the crew here really, together, we've got a very solid team, even in this economic environment. So what I want to share now is some of what we heard from everybody in the community. Loud and clear, everybody made it very known that they want a better state-of-the-art movie theater experience. Yeah. Okay. Got that one. So that, without a doubt, that is one of our highest priorities. And we like it because you like it. We like it because the marketplace likes it. Because we can all like something, but if the retailer says, "I don't want to open any theater there, that it's not a good place," then we got a bit of a disconnect. But the good news is we have theaters that are interested in being here. And we're very, very pleased about that. We heard you say that people really care about having great gathering spaces in this community, and a lot of dining options that you can enjoy with your friends and your family and so forth. And that was a big piece of input that we received a variety of different ways. We also heard that having a natural grocer in Longmont was something that was important to everybody. There are 5 priorities we heard most often, and this is a result of all the feedback we got. State-of-the-art movie theater, that comes out very high. High-quality, value-oriented retailer like Costco or Sam's, we heard that. Creating gathering spaces and community activities, which is something we do in all of our shopping centers. We're looking forward to creating some unique events that will actually be regional in nature, that will be annually occur every year so that you all have some things that are festival type events. And we're really looking forward to that. And then attracting a high quality natural grocer was something that came up frequently, and then dining options as well. The Times Call did a survey of the community, and very much what we received from our inquiry lines up with what they received as well. The theater comes out on the top. They had Sprouts and Whole Foods there next, and it goes on down the line with outdoor shopping areas and other types of uses, food uses and so forth. So the good news is, you know, there's a fair amount of agreement on what people want to see here in terms of uses and spaces and activity. We found that based on the survey results, people in Longmont go to the theater about 2.6 times per year. Industry average is about 6 times per year. 61% of you rate the current theater as below average, and 8% rate it good or better. And during the last 6 months, more than half of you have visited the existing UA once or not at all. And so what that all says is, one, that facility is dated and desperately needs to be brought into a contemporary setting. And they run fabulous theaters all around the country, so there's no reason that can't happen with the current operator. We believe that by bringing in a new stadium theater, we're going to be able to, one, give you the opportunity to attend the movies in a much better setting, and two, attract people who aren't presently coming up here to go to the movies or down from Berthoud or someplace to be able to go to the movie theater here and offer something that's competitively far greater than the assortment of theaters that you go to now. You know, our main competing projects are Flatirons, that was the first one, and then the Orchards opened up, 29th Street opened up, the Promenade opened up. So you have these projects in northern Colorado that have all opened up in a very short time frame. Flatirons has been a decade now, but the others all opened up in the last 5 years. And so you have a variety of retailers that entered this market of northern Colorado, and they really look at it as a mega market, not a micro market of Longmont. And so, you know, I really wanted to prove myself wrong and try to find a department store anchor. I don't believe that's possible right now and for the foreseeable future. And there's some factors that play into that, but really the main one is you've got a highly competitive retail market here now. We have to be able to compete with the retailer, the other projects in this region very successfully, or we won't be able to redevelop this project. Secondly, you know, the mall itself over the years declined. I mean, the prior ownerships have, you know, not reinvested in the mall. And as a result, a lot of the retailers have opened locations in these competing projects. And I'll just give you a couple examples. The biggest, Macy's, has got 4 stores in northern Colorado already. Bath and Body Works has 4, Eddie Bauer has 4, Gymboree has 5, LensCrafters 5, Old Navy has 3, Victoria's Secret 4. We've gone through them all. And so part of the big challenge is those retailers don't want to plop a store in the middle of so many stores. They've oversaturated the market. I mean, it happened with the growth in the economy. So the good news is we've been out talking to all the retailers, and there's a lot of retailers in the market that are interested in coming to Longmont, and they're good quality retailers. And that's the good news. For the most part, the retailers who want to grow into this market that have demand are not enclosed regional mall retailers. They're traditional in terms of wanting to be in open air centers. And we're seeing that movement in the regional mall business. The regional mall business is compressing now to super regional malls, like Flatirons being at the low end of the square footage. That's about 1 million feet. Park Meadows would be more prototypic of what the regional mall business is moving to. And that's 1.25 million, 1.5 million square foot super regional mall. And so this mall is about 550,000 feet. So that gives you the sense that industry is shifting to these larger format venues. A lot of the mall retailers are interested in open air centers as well. A lot of like Victoria's Secret, for example, is a perfect example. They're opening stores in open air formats when a decade ago they never would have. So we've definitely got fresh retailer interest and some interest from some of the current occupants as well. and it's in an open air format. That's the direction that they're driving this project, and we have to follow their lead about the future of the mall and what we do. They see it as a great place to do business. Everybody knows the demographic in Longmont is terrific. Your incomes, your education levels here, household size, all those things are very good. The density in Longmont is light. In other words, it's not, you know, it doesn't crest even 100,000 people. And to get in the game with a lot of retailers, 100,000 is just starting. So that's sort of the push-pull. The good news is we are getting significant interest in the project, enough definitely to move forward, and we're very positive about that. You know, we see this project as a different kind of experience, more of an outdoor, community-oriented center. The retailers are moving that way, where they want to see that collaboration between dining and the outdoor connections and so forth. And when it came to the residents, okay, we heard from a lot of you, and the spectrum is about as broad as it could possibly be. Some of us wanted to keep everything indoors. Some want an enclosed mall for, you know, exercise in the winter months, or even the air conditioning in the hot summer. Somebody even wanted us to convert the mall to an indoor water park and amusement center. You know, it's just a broad spectrum. But many of you wanted a fresh, new, outdoor-oriented project. We have this stunning setting here, which when you sit inside this mall, you don't know the mountains are right there with the sunset we're going to see tonight. And retailers, that's the direction they're going. So what I'd like to do now is give you a sense of how this all comes together in the future of the mall. And this mall will be demalled. It will not be an enclosed regional mall. The tenants are just not there to support that. But the tenants are there to support a very vibrant community center and movie theater. We heard the natural food. We heard some of the other uses. We're very keen on restaurants. And what I'd like to do is share with you a view of, we're going to create a village center, a place where the community can gather, where you can have activity, where we can shut down sections, have farmer markets, where we can do events that might be music in the summer, might be movie oriented, we can have maybe a cycling type event, and really create some special things, but also have a special place that's got multiple buildings and also has open space in it that's over an acre in size. And so what I want to do is show you a look into this village, which would be facing the mountains. And so, but our desire here is to create water features at the entry, as well as retailers in a village orientation here. There's a road that goes right through the middle. You can see the Twin Peaks arch over that. Architecturally, we think this project, you know, let's be smart. We're right on top of all the national parks here in Colorado. That's what we all, you know, we love living here because of those parks. Let's take advantage of that theme and bring that into this project. This center plaza, center village area here, you can see seating. We'd have outdoor seating. We've got a play area for children on this side. The other side, we'd have the pop fountains that kids like to play in, but also patio dining, where you could come during the day and you could have coffee, and the kids could be in a sort of a contained environment, or you could come in the evening and, you know, you could even drop somebody at the movies, go have dinner, and go pick them up when you're done. We're thinking of things like the connections to the bicycle path. The city's going to do an underpass to underneath Hover, and we're going to try to connect there with some bicycle connections. We've also looked at charging stations. We've got a charging station rendered to this picture. But really to create this large space that will be a place to gather, and a place to have events, and thematically playing into what we all know about this area and the natural environment. So that's really the concept that we're pursuing. We're having more than just discussions with retailers. We have serious interest from retailers. It takes a long time to mature that interest. I know you'll want to know who they are. Believe me, I'm excited to share when I can share. That's really the focus of the project thematically, and size-wise, it'll be roughly the same square footage as this project today. So this project is about 500,000 feet, 540. This project will be somewhere below that, 500 something. So it's roughly the same size. It'll be organized differently with a center core here with this village in it. And as what we'll be doing now is really kind of work with your city staff and with the retailers, because those two things have to overlap, to create a cohesive plan that meets your city's objectives, gathering more feedback from you as we go. When I have retailers to announce, we will do that, and we will share those with you. We'll continue to take your ideas and see the ideas. We've heard a lot: community spaces, movie theater, natural grocer, maybe somebody that's discount oriented too, restaurants, views, amenities, places for children. We're trying to wrap all that together, knowing that we have retailers whose interest is solely their bottom line. Can they park? Can they load? Will people buy things? That's really their focus. They don't get, they like this stuff, but don't get too excited about it. We'll keep coming back. When I have news to report, I will report it to you. One of the things we're thinking about is even a new identity for the project. It's going to be different than this mall, and it could be that we come back not only with the new visual identity that we have, but even a new name. I don't know yet, but we're certainly thinking about that. So when we meet again, I'm going to share more about the retailers that are interested, have more specific plans to show you. These plans are fluid right now, which is why it doesn't make sense to show a bunch of plans that I know are going to change. I'd rather say, okay, we've got some certainty here, here's what the plan looks like, and here's how we plan to implement that in a time frame and everything to go with it. So I know some of you are going to have questions. I believe we've handed out question cards.
Yes, on all the chairs.
And so if you want to take a minute to jot down a quick question, and then I know Malika and some of the others with our company will come around and gather those up, and then I'll entertain some questions. So this question is, have you received buy-in from current mall tenants? Do you anticipate most of them staying or going? So most of the tenants that are remaining in the mall are national, not all, but by and large they're national companies. And it will be up to them to decide if they are interested or not in this format as we develop it. But because now Dillard's owns its own property, and our expectation is they're going to operate that store. We'd love to have them here in the project, and we're planning for that. The other tenants in the mall itself are smaller, and so they survive based on what the anchors do. And so we have to have the anchors committed that we can disclose to them for them to make the decision, do we want to open Victoria's Secret, for example, or Bath & Body, or Foot Locker in another space in the new project. So the answer is, I can't tell you yet how many will stay, how many will go. And certainly our intention is to attract a lot of new tenants as well. But the other thing we're going to do by virtue of this project is to create a greater footprint. Right now the footprint of people coming to this project has been compressed by all of that new competition that surrounds us. We need to have retail offerings and a community space that then expands that area so that these events are well attended, and so that the merchants here are prosperous, and so that you can all enjoy the excitement of it. The opening is, your city staff is terrific, and so I don't foresee your city staff slowing us down at all, and we're certainly motivated. This mall is largely unproductive in terms of revenue, but guess what? It costs a lot of money to run it. So we're motivated, and we want to work through this intelligently. We're not going to rush, because being hasty, we've done this too long. You have to go through a certain process. You have to gather input. You have to listen to what people say, both retailers, the community, and then bring it all together. But the area that we can't control is retailers. Retailers are notoriously fickle, shall I say. And so that's the part, we'll do our darn best, and we've been working with, I spent my whole life working with retailers, but and the rest of our crew has too, but our adult lives, but that's the area I can't predict. So I don't know exactly what the timing will be, but my hope would be that sometime next year you're starting to see meaningful change here. So will we be a drive-through or a walk-through facility? The answer is both. We want to be able to accommodate people in the village on a walkable scale, but a large enough space to have activities and have a large amount of people enjoy that area of the project. But then we also want to have easy access to some of the places where people might say, hey, I just want to run in and grab something and go home, or I just want to go to the movie tonight. But also provide for the ability for somebody to park in between and say, I can walk to the village, grab a bite to eat, then go to the movies, or go pick up, some food at the grocery store or something like that. What about the seniors who walk the mall every day? I completely understand. So, and as a senior, I don't like an open concept, especially a mall with Colorado Winters. This is a very real issue for those of you that use this mall that way. The reality for us is we're faced with a mall that has a tremendous amount of overhead and no retailers to support it. That's called a losing proposition. And we need to do something here that will work now. The city's been through this, you've been through this drill a few times. And from our perspective, if we could reuse the buildings for viable anchor retails, we would do it. It's more cost effective for us. But the reality is those retailers aren't there to reuse these buildings, these anchor buildings. And without the anchors, the small spaces don't lease. So that's the practical reality that we're dealing with. Our objective with the village is to provide places where you can sit, where you can gather, where you can dine. We're hopeful that we'll have a couple of restaurants that are open to rooftop patios as well, and that would all afford us the view that's going on outside this door you can't even see right now, right? That we know is stunning. So that's definitely a part of what we want to accommodate. And then you've got our Facebook, you've got other ways to communicate with us too. We've got our web address. Some people have even written me letters personally, which is great. So there's a myriad of ways to communicate with us. Keep communicating with us. We're going to do our level best to make this project successful for all of you and something that you enjoy visiting.
As an audience participant, I really enjoyed the meeting tonight. I learned a lot about Mr. Ginsborg. He's very interested in Longmont. You could tell he's done tons of research. He has our back. He's really listening to the people of Longmont and listening to their ideas. He, I think, will be a tremendous success, and we are very honored to have him here and very fortunate to have him here in Longmont. And I think it's going to be tremendous. Here's some of the ideas he has, and just the preliminary ideas are just phenomenal. I'm very excited for our future. Thank you.
And I'm very pleased with the community involvement that the company that owns the mall has shown. There are some things that I would like to see, but after talking to different people and hearing what one of the owners tonight had to say, I understand why things are going to be as they will be. And we just hope to see them get some good anchor commercial retailers, because I think that there's so much potential if it's done right, and I do feel these people know what they're doing.
Yeah, tonight's event really went well. We got great feedback from all of you in this community, and we're really excited about the momentum that we feel building for the redevelopment of this project. And so I'm Alan Ginsborg. You can reach us at our website, newmarkmerrill.com. We've also got a Facebook page for Twin Peaks Mall, and we just look forward to getting more feedback and working together with you over the coming months.